Listen, part 2 is upon us. We already know this for version 3.4, but what was really funny is that Genshin Impact did pull an oopsie a while ago by releasing the banner details for both Hu Tao and Yelan. So we're gonna actually cover that. We're gonna go ahead and go over these banners and see if this banner is gonna be worth it, because honestly, like, it's kind of scary to think about. Let me go ahead and just get this intro out of the way. What is going on, my dudes? MTashed here, back again with another Genshin Impact video. And today, guys, if you guys like the content, please make sure to hit that like and subscribe button down below. Don't forget to hit the notification bell to be notified of when the next Genshin Impact video comes out. And of course, leave a comment on what you guys think. But without any further delay, let's go ahead and get right into it. Now, as you guys can see, I have the banner pictures that they put out a while ago, and like I said, they did an oopsie by releasing both the Hu Tao and the Yelan pictures at the same time, followed by also the weapon banner, but we'll talk about that in another video. But again, as you can see, these are not bad banners, but at the same time, there's a little bit of in me, you know, that type of stuff. But let's go ahead and dive right into it. First things first, let's talk about Beidou. Now, Beidou is an electro claymore user. I don't know why that's so weird to say, but she is an electro claymore user, and honestly, Beidou has been one of those units that I've been pleasantly surprised with. Before, when I first started Genshin Impact, I would never touch Beidou, but with the story that she's had so far, which may not seem like a lot, but from her hangout event, she does have a lot of good aspects to her. But when it comes to her gameplay, I will say that I was pleasantly surprised. Her electro application's really good. Her counter's actually pretty decent as well. So I think she's one of those characters that's very underrated. Now, would I just go out and summon for her all the time if I didn't have a C6? Absolutely not. But at the same time, you can't deny that there's an appeal to her, and it makes sense why there's an appeal to her. So I definitely have to say Beidou is one of the better 4-stars in the game right now. Especially with Dendro kind of being there. Like, she doesn't work entirely with Dendro, but there are some instances where she could work with them. She's definitely not the best electro, I would say, applicator, I guess, in that sense, but she definitely works in some cases. Now let's go ahead and talk about Ningguang, her girlfriend. We already know it's basically there, guys. But with Ningguang was another one that I was pleasantly surprised with. I actually, again, was under the boat of, you know, I don't think she's that great. And then I started using her when I started going for companionship, and again, very surprised at what she could do. Her damage was okay. It wasn't great, but it was definitely better than I expected, because I used to put Ningguang really low on the totem pole. Granted, as a DPS, I don't think that she's high on the totem pole, but she used to be one of the last place users for DPS in my personal opinion. Now, after using her and using her abilities, she's definitely got some place in even today's current meta. Not like top tier, of course, but she's definitely not bad. If your waifu is Ningguang, it makes sense. Like, I can understand it. Now, it's the same thing with Beidou, though. Would I summon for her if she wasn't already C6? Probably not. I probably wouldn't go for her. There's plenty of other Geo DPSs, in my personal opinion, that you could go for. You know, even Noelle, I think, outpaces Ningguang as a DPS. Now, granted, you have the, you know, full screen TV, you know, reflector screen type thing that works really well against projectiles, and it's a very, in my opinion, niche thing, but definitely not bad. Now let's get into the star of the 4 stars, and that is Xingqiu. Now, Xingqiu is still one of, if not the best 4 stars in the game. If you have not C6 Xingqiu, you need to, because Xingqiu is a powerhouse of an off-field DPS, and he does so many great things for your team with the hydro application of his swords. Not only that, but with energy recharge kind of being his thing, you're gonna get your ult back ASAP. Sorry, burst back ASAP. And again, what's really great about this is that, let's take this Hu Tao banner for example. Xingqiu works incredibly well with Hu Tao because Hu Tao is going to be normal attacking after she uses her E. And Xingqiu's burst is off field. So you don't have to have him on the field for it to get that whole experience. And the swords are based off of normal attacks anyway, so it makes sense to have him paired with Hu Tao. You're going to get that vaporized combo that you're so desperately wanting. Trust me on this. So Xingqiu is one of the few 4-stars I would say summon for, because he is so good at what he does. Honestly, if people picked him for the leeway free character from the Lantern Rite, I wouldn't blame him. I wouldn't, because he's just that dang good. Now let's talk about the 5-stars. We're gonna first talk about Yelan, the armpit goddess. Sniffers beware. That's all you guys want, is you want to sniff. But she draws a very big comparison to Xingqiu, and here's why. Her kit operates basically the same way. Is it to say that she's exactly the same? Absolutely not. Her damage capabilities, I think, are a lot better when it comes to her being a normal DPS instead of a off-field DPS. But I still feel that Yelan is amazing. Like, she is really, really good. Even if you were to compare her to Xingqiu and say she's a 5-star Xingqiu, that's not entirely bad. She's really good. Plus, she's hot. You know, we already know this. She's actually one of the characters I have on my Dokkan overlay for when I'm working with 5-9. Now, Yelan is definitely one of the 5-stars I would say is more than needed on a lot of people's accounts. I think that she does so much work, and one of my favorite teams is Hydro Shotgun, which utilizes both Yelan and Xingqiu with Ayato. And honestly, the amount of hydro damage you could get done in that instance is ridiculous. Not only that, but if you get mad about traveling in the overworld, her E helps you out with those short bursts of, like, you know, running. So if that's a major inconvenience to you and you want a hot babe to run around with, you've got Yelan right here. Now let's get into the one that I think is the better of the two. Hu Tao. Now, people are going to be like, wow, you want Hu Tao over Yelan? Absolutely 100%. And that's not to say that Yelan is terrible. It's to say that Hu Tao is just that dang good. Now, understand as well that you have two characters doing two different things. And again, it's not to say that Yelan is worse than Hu Tao. Yelan is an off-field DPS, while Hu Tao is an on-field DPS. Her ability to do damage is ridiculous, especially when you have your health at 50% or less, especially paired up with her weapon, Staff of Homa. It's absurd what she's able to do. Even in today's meta, she's still considered one of the better DPSs in the game, and there's a reason for it, because of her ability to, you know, just dish out that pyro damage. Not only that, but her synergy with units that are off-field DPSs is crazy good. Like, especially with Xingqiu, Yelan, even with Beidou. Like, if Beidou was to activate her burst and you had Hu Tao attacking afterwards, the synergy between them is still good. She works with so many characters in general. Like, the only characters that I would say, like, it's kind of bad for her is Bennett at times. But even then, you could use Bennett's burst and then go into Hu Tao and still get that pyro damage bonus. You would lose your 50% bonus that you get, like from the 50% HP bonus stuff that you have, but you would still gain pyro damage bonus. It's no competition, in my opinion, between the two. Who would you rather go for, Hu Tao or Yelan? Now, the argument that you could make is that with Hu Tao, we have Dehya coming out in the next patch. I'm going to tell you right now to summon for Hu Tao. I'm not going to tell you why, because I don't want to get in trouble. I'm just going to tell you to summon for Hu Tao. So, let's go ahead and talk about this banner. Is the Yelan banner worth? Now, again, as I've stated, with Beidou and Ningguang, they're good. They're better than, I would say, a good amount of the 4-stars. But I still feel that they are not as good as today's meta 4-stars in my personal. And so, let me rephrase that. Some of today's meta is 4 stars, but I think that's just in general how it's always going to be. We're never going to have every patch meta defining units. I don't think that's the case. But is this a summon? I still feel absolutely 100%. Yelan and Xingqiu are so good on their own. Ningguang's ability to deflect projectiles, especially with the majority of the the enemies now doing projectiles, is actually a plus. Would I say that you should use her 100% of the time? Absolutely not, but she still works. And Beidou's ability to counter, you can do the quick switch to her, get the counter ready to go, and then counter, switch back into Xingqiu, go for the burst, go to Yelan, go for burst, and you could use Yelan as that DPS, or you could use Ningguang as the DPS, use both Yelan and Xingqiu as the off fields, and Beidou as your counter slash, you know, shield in a sense. So I think that the Yelan banner is a must summon. I would definitely say that for sure. I don't think you need me to tell you. If the Yelan banner is a must summon, Hu Tao is a must summon. Like, Hu Tao's ability to work with this team is fantastic. The only thing is that Ningguang is kind of a detriment, just with the projectile stuff. Like, all she's going to be doing is the projectile stuff, because you shouldn't have 2 main DPSs on a team. I don't think so. You need, in my opinion, a main DPS, an off-field DPS, a support of some sort, whether it's a reaction applicator or shielder, and then a healer. That's my personal opinion. But at the same time, you could still run this team and be perfectly fine. Ningguang could literally just put shield up for the projectiles. You could lure enemies in, and then boom, use Hu Tao. Perfect. Xingqiu off field with the burst, and then Beidou with application for Electro as well. You could do so many things with this. But overall, Hu Tao works with a lot of characters in general, and so I feel that no matter what, she's going to be a must summon. So these banners are going to be tough for a lot of people. Now guys, if you like the content, please make sure to hit that like and subscribe button down below, and don't forget to hit the notification bell to be notified of when the next Genshin Impact video comes out. Again guys, thank you so much for the support, and thank you so much for the opportunity to entertain you. We will be back again with another Genshin Impact video later on this week, and as always, we will catch you guys in the next video. Please take care and be safe.